Okay, hey everybody, welcome to this week's conversation. The hangout here should be on the screen. Trying something a little different. The comments are occurring here on the Facebook page. It occurs to me that they don't update live, so you might have to hit refresh to see everybody else's comments. We'll keep working on a better medium for this, but we're kind of playing around. I thought it was kind of a fun idea. You could just fire up a hangout with a friend, or a coworker. And in this case, maybe if you're a lender, you'd fire one up with an agent. Just do a quick little interview right on your social page there, embed the YouTube Hangout on air, and have all the conversations happen virally on the page. And of course, there's some benefit to that. Might get you higher edge rank, a little more virality with Facebook. So go ahead, leave your comments below. We'll get to them eventually. It might be a little bit after the live recording here, but we'll answer everybody's comments below. And then I'm kind of waiting for Brian to show up. If he can't make it, no big deal. Brian here works here at Conversion. He's the VP of Sales. He was going to come on and talk a little bit about lender stuff, but I have an outline to follow, and I can just get going if we don't see Brian come live. Let me check on the page, see if he's there. Brian, why don't you just comment if you're like on the page or having trouble getting in. Let's see here. All right, well, let's get to it, guys. I don't want to make everybody wait. So let's go ahead, go back to our agent lender cooperative lead generation strategies. What I did was I made some bullet points out. I'm going to assume that most of the people on today are already have a conversion account, but if you're just curious about conversion and you're looking in, a lot of this will apply to you, so don't think it's just limited to conversion. There's going to be a lot of ideas I share over the next 10, 15 minutes. We'll keep it short that you might be able to use. First thing here that we have on the screen is the strategy in general, and basically the idea behind agents and lenders working together. We have cooperative lead generation and conversion. Is that really, of course, it's the same lead, whether we're talking about the buyer side or the seller side. Anybody who's out there in your local marketplace someday has a high likelihood of buying or selling a house or refinancing a house, right? And that's where the seller leads do come to play for lenders. So if lenders and agents pool their resources and co-generate, co-incubate, it stands to reason that two heads or two pros are better than one if it's done properly. So conversion itself is built to facilitate all this, but it's sort of a thing that maybe should get talked about more, and that's sort of why we're doing this conversation today. Lenders have an interesting, it's interesting for you guys because you're not kind of limited to one market. If I'm an agent and I get a lead all the way on the other side of Pennsylvania or a couple of states over, I have to refer that thing out. I can't go out and list the property or show. But as a lender, any state you're licensed in, you can be co-generating leads with as many agents as you want. And some of you guys are listed in all states. So when you get some of the ideas we're going to talk about today, and when you think about what conversion can do in terms of aggregating all your leads across all the agents you work with into one dashboard, it becomes really, really interesting. So Brian had some points here. I'm sorry he's not here. I'm sure he's just trying to get in. And I apologize to you, Brian, if we didn't coordinate well. We're both very busy. Probably should have talked before. I thought you'd just pop on the hangout here. But the key here he had is to foster relationships, right? It's not necessarily about that lead if you're a lender. And if you're an agent, it's not necessarily about the lead. If you're a lender, it's more about getting that referral partner, right? If lender, okay. You want referral partners. You want that agent who's going to call you when the other lender screws up and says, hey man, I got a last minute thing. Can you help me out? Or, can you get this client a pre-qual? They're a little tricky. You want your foot in the door so that you get repeat business from the agent. This is basics. If you're the agent, you do want to have a couple of competent lenders, in the bag too. You need these guys to get deals done. So, and of course, there's a lot of benefit here to having somebody help kick in on your buyer and seller side lead gen. So this is about fostering relationships. Don't necessarily go at it thinking, oh, I just, how many leads am I get? What, don't get to that, because there's some intangibles outside of just pure lead gen here, and that is sort of the referrals you're going to get on an ongoing basis. I have a friend in Philadelphia, Chris, who, when I was actively selling, got like probably 70–80% of all my business. That's just, you guys all have somebody like that, and who knows, it all started with just one little deal, and this is this co-lead generation could lead to those kind of things. So if you're a lender and you're helping, 50 agents generate leads all over the country, I mean, that could be huge if you can organize it all. All right. I know a lot of this is basic for you guys, but we're going over the keys, the core to the strategy, just to remind you what's behind all this. The more agents a lender works with, the better the value for themselves, as we just said, and the agents. And what we mean by this is, if you can partner, you don't want, if you're an agent, you don't want to just partner with any lender, who's willing to kind of stroke a check for you. What you want is probably that lender who's already doing this with a few agents and is really committed to taking the time to do the incubation and the conversion in the right way. Anyone can sign up for a system like conversion, get a bunch of leads, and just never work them properly. You can get anybody to do that, and a lot of lenders will be eager to work with you that way. But you're going to get more value if you're an agent from working with somebody who really knows this stuff. You might think, oh, I don't want a lender who's generating leads for the guy, in a competing market or whatever, but really you do, because that person knows what they're doing. And of course, is already trained on your system, put it that way. Brian had here, think big, not small, take down Trulia in the competition. I think what he means by that, let me X this out here. I think what he means by that is that basically by pooling resources in a local market, it might be tough to beat Trulia, Zillow, some of the other major portals at the SEO game, but you can certainly go out there and, with some hyper-local strategic traffic generation, some of the stuff conversion does, you can certainly pull a lot of people your way. And there's, they don't own pay-per-click. Let's put it that way. Zillow doesn't own pay-per-click. I don't even know if they do any. They probably do. But, you can think big and say, hey, we are going to own, and same for market share. If there's a big fish in your market, this could give you a competitive advantage. So you've got the #1 player in terms of market share, and you're number 2 or 3. Well, they're not really hip to this idea. You go ahead and get a couple of lenders on board, and suddenly your budget's bigger than it was yesterday. Maybe that gives you a little more of a competitive edge if you're trying to outlast those guys. And then final point here, key behind all this strategy. This is a conversion-sponsored conversation, so we feel that conversion is specially designed to allow lenders and agents to work together efficiently. I believe Tom, I should know this, I believe Tom Ray, one of the co-founders, was in the mortgage business at one point. Justin is in real estate, so these guys have thought a lot about how lenders and agents can work together, and the system is designed to facilitate this kind of thing. So let me look here real quick. I'm going to look to see if anybody's commenting yet on the fan page. I had my brother comment a few minutes ago. I thought somehow that we would get, that by doing it this way, that the feed would update live, and I just messed that up. I don't know why I thought that. I kind of knew it. Hello, Michael Simpkins. Thank you for watching. I'm going to type howdy. And I'm just going to keep plowing through. I'm not going to take a lot of your time here. Again, sorry Brian's not here. We're going to plow through the ideas, probably stop the recording, and then we can all just conversate in the thread here. Just wanted to get some main points out this week. Okay? Lender-specific dashboard conversion makes it easy. What I'm going to do here, I believe after this I can log in and show you guys what the lender dashboard looks like, but it looks like I'm going to end up showing a password if I do it right here. So I might do that in a minute. Conversion also allows for one-click a la carte buying of leads, and this is really critical. So I haven't peeked in the lender dashboard in a while, but I believe lenders as well as agents can both go in and buy leads directly on the buyer side, the seller side. Basically, and when we say buy leads, what we're really talking about is buying traffic off of Facebook, off of Google PPC. And there's not a lot of systems that allow you as a lender to go out there with one click and say, hey, I want leads coming my way, and the a la carte menu allows that. And what happens is those leads come in, of course, not only are you going to be working them, but the agent is going to be working them as well. And this kind of cuts out a lot of the hassle that would be associated with you setting up your own campaign. So you can go into that neighboring state that you're licensed in if you're a lender, and know that in a couple of minutes you can have leads flowing to both you and the agent. You don't need to know a darn thing about pay-per-click, about building high-converting landing pages, about internet marketing in general. All you need to have is a little bit of financial commitment, and more importantly, the commitment to just kind of be there and work these leads as they come in. Now, the system itself does make it a little easier in terms of the labor involved with working these leads. Of course, drip campaigns are built in. You can send mass emails to segments of leads about maybe new financing programs that are coming up. You can integrate some calls to action that'll get you more business into both the agent signature and your own. I have one example on the screen here, right? One idea where I don't know if a lot of agents are doing this, but I've done this outside of conversion in the past with lenders and agents, where the agent's email signature and all the signature lines in their drip and all their marketing suddenly changes to something like, to get pre-approved now, click here, and it would go to the lender's pre-approval page, or this language, to speak to one of my trusted, first-time buyer, question mark, to speak to one of my trusted mortgage partners about financing your first home, click here to schedule a one-on-one appointment now. And you could use something like Schedule Once. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There are a lot of these scheduling softwares out there. Right, we're using this internally at Conversion. The guys love it. Our sales team uses it. It's a really good way to get people right on your calendar directly. And maybe you would include a link to your lender's calendar in all of your communications, right? Just an idea. And another thing to consider is that there is a gigantic pool. All conversion sites generate a healthy flow of seller lead inquiries. And I don't know if it's fair to call them seller leads, but they generate a lot of seller valuation leads on pages that look like this. These are very popular in the industry right now because they do work. Where the person goes in, they enter an address to see their home value instantly. Conversion sites do generate a lot of addresses, and a lot of times the contact info of that seller becomes a real lead. So the lender, as a lender, I don't know if you get direct access in your dashboard or how the seller shares it, but you have the opportunity to get some refi action on these as well, right? And maybe spot some opportunities based on the leads that are coming in there. Okay, so I am sorry. I was kind of hoping Brian would be on and we would do a tour of the dashboard. I know if I wanted to, I could stop the live feed here and show you guys the dashboard. If you want to just kind of stop and let me stop the screen share so I don't share a password with you, and then let's see. And you can fast forward while I do this if you're watching a recording. I'm going to stop the screen share for a second and log into a dashboard. Okay, just be a minute. Just logging in here, and then I'll bring my screen back live. All right. Okay, that should be back. So thanks for bearing with me there. Maybe we'll edit that out of the recording if we can. So let's see. So we're looking at a lender dashboard. It looks very, very similar to what an agent dashboard looks like. And you'll notice here one of the first things you see is that point I just brought up where as a lender you can just quickly click. You'll see down here, buy more leads. You can buy buyer leads, seller leads, and basically have them flow to the agent of your choosing and yourself. Really, really powerful stuff. You're also getting a full place to manage the leads. I believe you can see an activity stream of properties that people are looking at, so you get an idea of the leads price range, of course, through the regular CRM. You can make contact and say, hey, I see you're looking at a lot of multifamily properties. I have a pretty cool program for investors, or you see I'm looking at a lot of land. If you happen to have something for land, I don't know. You may be able to, I don't know if the seller, again, if the seller leads are showing and you're seeing some addresses and you notice a nice spread, if you can do some research between when they bought the property and today, or, between, if you could find what they paid for, maybe you spot a reason why you would send some direct mail or an email to offer a refi evaluation, things of that nature. Let's see here. The communication is really cool. I think, I'm not gonna go too far in it. Most of you guys are conversion, but you can send messages back and forth between, it's our demo account, between the lender and the agent. You can add notes and have a lot of kind of communication between each other, as well as most recently through the client app, of course, too, where lenders and agents can download the app and start to work transactions and leads, I believe, together through client. Okay, so conversion basically makes it easy. If you're a lender, you can have a lot of leads flowing in your dashboard. You can co-work them. You can design drip campaigns that are meant to not only push property, but also kind of pry people out of the woodwork by offering some help with the financing. Of course, those two things go hand in hand. It's a really nice, logical thing to do. Now, I'm going to go here and get a little outside of the box and share some bonus ideas, really quick spitfire, and run through, and then we'll close out today. I don't want to keep you guys too long on this presentation, on this conversation. We're going to go here to the first bonus idea, and is that for those drip campaigns, and just in general, it might be a good idea to start creating content together. So one thing you can do is fire up a Google Hangout, sort of like what I'm doing right now, and maybe do quick little interviews. You could do an interview about fixer-upper loans. The agent would get on and say, hey, Joe, tell me about fixer-upper financing. You were talking to me about the 203K the other day. And you would ask the question, and you just let the lender go for 2 minutes and answer the question, stop the video, and you're done. Put it in the can. And you guys could sit together and do 4 or 5 of these. I have a few ideas here. When should I refi? Importance of pre-approval, investor financing options. You can put those in the can. Leave them evergreen on YouTube maybe, right, wherever you want to, and then go into your conversion drip emails and strategically add in some. Say, hey, make it conversational. Maybe on day 8 you add in one, says, hey, just talking to my lender, we did a quick chat about fixer-upper loans. If you're thinking about buying a property that's in bad shape and you want financing, click here. Link out to the YouTube page, and it's a nice little way to sort of make sure that the lender who's investing in the lead also gets some benefit in addition to just sort of getting a crack at the direct mortgage. And it's also great content to send out if you're an agent that's outside of the norm. It's good, meaty, juicy stuff. So that's an idea. Sit with your lender, sit with your agent, and realistically, lenders, you're probably going to want to take the lead on this, right? And help an agent get this into their drip and make sure it happens. It's in your best interest to do so. So sit there, record the 4 or 5 videos, get them on YouTube, and then pepper them into a drip campaign. Another idea for lenders specifically is a way to recruit agents. This is totally, I've never done mortgages, but this is always an idea. As I've thought about, lenders have asked me what to do to generate leads. This is one idea that I've shared with a number of people that I think could just work. I've never actually seen anybody take my advice and do it, but as a lender, you could create a local fan page, and it could just be the York, Pennsylvania property of the day. Or it could be the Pennsylvania property of the day. If you're working with a number of agents, in a wider state, you're picking somebody from a different town. So you do York, Pennsylvania property of the day, and then maybe you put it on your calendar, daily routine, weekly routine even, to spend a half hour, and you call a few agents and say, hey, do you have a listing I can post to my property of the day page today? It's free advertising. It's just something I do. To get loans, and you'll get free exposure for your listing. I might even drive a Facebook ad to it. And most agents will say, yeah, post my listing on Main Street, right? It's just a nice little lead in. And when they say, yeah, you go, okay, well, what if I do drive $5 in Facebook ads or $10 in Facebook ads to it? Would you be okay with answering the questions that come off the property? I'm not exactly licensed, so I can't talk specifically about the property. That's something you'd say. And of course, they're going to say, yeah, you're going to get me leads socially. So that could be a good lead in, right? You start calling, you start asking if they have a property. You let the experiment run. You run a quick little Facebook ad to the post, or you just right in the call there. You go right into, hey, and if you think this is pretty cool, or if you like this experiment, I work with this system called conversion, and maybe you want to check it out. We could do some co-lead generation. I'm really good at following up with the leads in the system. I can help you get started, and there you go. So a nice little platform for recruiting agents. You go into every state you're licensed in, write down, create one of these pages for the state, and just go right down the list of cities and call an agent or two in each city and see what happens. Another idea I think I mentioned above, agents can add the lender pre-qual form or another lead magnet to their signature. And if you're a lender, you may want to, put in your signature, here are some featured agents. You might put listing specialist, my favorite listing agent, put their name. If you're looking to sell a house, if you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, I recommend X. And that could be a nice little signature line there. And then finally, a reminder to stay RESPA compliant. I really wanted Brian on the call because he knows so much more about how this is handled with conversion. All you need to know is that there are many lenders and agents working together. There's a proper way to do it. I believe there may be a form available, but I'm going to leave it at that because I do not know what language or anything else needs to go there. I'm not a lawyer, but just keep that in mind when you're doing this. There's a way to do it to stay RESPA compliant, and you want to make sure you're informed about that. Ask us about that, ask the team about that, so you don't get yourself into trouble. And then finally, don't forget client for transaction management. So basically, along with all of this, client is an app that will allow everybody to sort of come together in a mobile environment and work leads and transactions together. So just another additional tool. If you haven't downloaded Client yet, go ahead and check it out. It's available on the iPhone and the fancy Android phones. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see if we have any questions here on our little fan page. Okay, well, not so many questions yet, but I would love it if you guys could just at least do us a favor, just for your experiment's sake. Go ahead and like this post on Facebook for us. Do leave a comment. Let us know, if you think you're going to try any of this stuff. If you have any specific questions, I'm sure I skipped a thing or two. I'll be monitoring this comment thread. I get an email every time somebody comments, and we'll have a really nice discussion here about this. I'll also post a link to the outline that was just on the screen, so you guys have that as well in the comments here. And I guess we'll leave it at that. Don't want to take much more of your time. Short, sweet, 20-minute conversation. Please do contribute any ideas you might have, ask any questions, and share this with a friend. Definitely, if you're a lender, share it with some agents you know. And if you're with an agent, share it over to a lender you know. You may end up getting somebody who's going to kick a few $100 into generating leads for you, right, in a RESPA compliant way. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. We'll probably see you next week for another conversation. It's been a lot of fun being here with you.